We here again.
Yo, back at it with another one.
With another one.
Same place.
Yeah, same place.
Definitely in the same room, man. It's always a blessing when we can get in the same room.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yeah, so let's get into these IOU moments. Who going first?
I'll go. Let me take off on it for a second. So what I got for the people this time is, my IOU moment is, there's no better time than the present, right? I can go on and on that, but I'm gonna just say this: if you find yourself procrastinating, putting something off, you hear things people say, man, next year, give me 6 months, or they say when once my kids leave the house, or whatever, and they say that in life, and it never happens, and that goal or whatever you're trying to do, it just keeps moving because you keep procrastinating and you find yourself depending on this time that's not even promised to you. the time that you can't even guarantee. The only time that's really guaranteed to you is the time right now, the present, what you have right now.
Yeah.
That's the only moment that you can guarantee. You can't guarantee 15 seconds from now, 15 days, 15 minutes. So if there's something that you want to do, something you want to obtain, some goal you want to achieve, something you're trying to do with your life in general, something you want to change about your life, something you want to change about yourself, start now. Like right now. Start now. Right? So even if you physically can't change anything right now, you could change your mindset towards it right now.
Yeah.
Because some things does take time for you to actually physically have a change, like to change that. But mentally, you could change that immediately. Your mind can change. Your mindset can change immediately. So, just remember, there's no better time than the present, because the present time is the only time that you truly can guarantee in the time that you currently have. The rest is just you're hoping that you get.
Yeah.
And you may never get it, because life is gonna life and things are gonna happen. And if you push it off too far, you'll live with regrets, and you'll be just somebody sitting around what I should have did, could have did, and didn't do. And regret is one of the worst things that you can live with. So no better time than the present.
Facts are on. And this leads into my IOU moment. It will take a bold step from you today to reach your potential tomorrow.
You said a bold step?
It will take a bold step from you today to reach your potential tomorrow.
Okay.
So that's no better time than the present, right?
Yeah.
So it's going to take you right now in the present to do what you need to do in order to reach your potential tomorrow.
That's facts.
See what I'm saying? So you got to get started right now. And I didn't tell you what my IOU moment was.
No, you didn't.
See what I'm saying? That's hand in hand.
That's
you
crazy.
What I'm saying?
That's crazy. You didn't.
So yeah, that's why
why you start laughing when I said that.
When you told me what yours was, I started laughing.
Dude, it be like that sometimes.
Yeah. So yeah, you really have to have the courage to do what you need to do right now, because that's going to open the door for your tomorrow. If you don't do it today, you're going to have to hold off and do it tomorrow. At some point, you're going to have to do it at that day, that present day, in order for you to get done what you truly want to get done tomorrow. So get started when you ready, but you're going to have to do it. So
big facts.
We into it.
Let's get it. So we back at it. IOU Redemption Podcast coming back at you. It's your boy G Wyatt,
big speaker,
and we coming with some more heat. We really take our time and think about these topics and try to keep the momentum going and give people something to chew on. We hit you with the IOU moments. The IOU moments can even be topics within themselves. But you know, we just want to make sure that, you know, we keep it giving people to chew on, that we feeding off of it as well. So we feel good to be back at it again, like we said, in the same room. You know, take a moment to like, share, subscribe for people that are out there. Continue to talk about it, chat about it, because we feeding off everybody's energy. And we like to have these natural conversations. Make sure that y'all continue to tune into the live streams as well. But, you know, without further ado, what we got for the people today, bro?
Man, I think we spoke about this in some of the live sessions we had.
Yeah.
About being able to help people find jobs or to actually earn the job. So that's what we're talking about today. Today we're talking about earn the job.
Earn, I like that one.
Earn the job. Nothing's gonna be given to you.
People be thinking that though.
Yeah, people. Even they look at us, they think they have no idea
how
hard it is to get these jobs and to like the things you go through to get them. You gotta earn it.
You gotta kick these doors down. You gotta be a disruptor.
Doors. Yeah,
you definitely gotta be a disruptor. You can't come in like everybody else. You gotta, man. You have to go. Yeah. Well,
no,
I'm really looking forward to this, because a lot of people don't understand that. You know, like you said, you assume that because it may seem like this stuff is come so easy, but it really didn't. And to get to this point, it takes a lot of work. We had to really submit ourselves and dedicate ourselves to our dreams, to our goals, to better ourselves. Because we had to really tear ourselves down and rebuild ourselves up, and still stay true to ourselves in the same time, which is a task within a task in itself. So I would just say a lot of the jobs that I've gotten, I've had, maybe didn't have any industry experience. I've never had anybody vouch for me. Like as far as to get a job, nobody called in for me. I wasn't a friend of a friend. I wasn't referred by anybody. Every door that I've ever walked through, I've walked in there on my own on my own accord. I've had to make a name for myself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And again, that's not a dig at anybody, because, you know, it is about who you know. Once you really get into it, corporate America, it really is more about who you know than what you know. So if you do got a good network and you got people out there vouching for you and mentors speaking for you and stuff like that, that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But my story didn't start that way. So I had to get in myself. And really, when my chance came to earn that job, I had to prove myself and I had to be ready. So we're going to dive into some things that, some key points to where can put you in a position to earn that job. And like always, you're going to have to be honest about some things and change some things and keep focus on some things. But I feel like at the end of it all, at the end of our conversation today, you'll be a lot better. You'll leave a lot better than you came. And you'll have a greater understanding of exactly what that looks like to get some of these higher end jobs, to get more bang for your buck, to be able to negotiate a salary, to be a high value candidate, right? Or a preferred candidate, to have some of that bargaining chips. So, you know, I'm really looking forward to getting into it.
Yeah. So, and I want to make this clear. At this point, you should have already searched for the job that you want, right? This is at the point where you've been through the search process,
right? And
you see the job that you want. Now we're trying to teach you how to earn that job.
Right.
Okay. So there's 3 points here. The first one we're going to hit off on, because it's that important, the resume. Now, I guess I'll give my take first on the resume. I think in past live sessions, we talked about the length of the resume. You said 1 pager, right? 1 pager, 2 pages
two
at
page
most.
Max. But
right?
Yeah, but preferably 1 page. I said, yeah.
So we've already said, you know, with the resume, if you got this one particular job that you looking for, that you want to get, you need to be sure that you tailor your resume to the job description. And I don't mean copying everything verbatim, because they're going to find out that you did that. But look at the job description, what it's asking for, and use those points into the job description of your current job or your past job. So if they say they're looking for someone who has 5 years experience with Microsoft Outlook, then in your job descriptions for your previous roles, you put in there subject matter expert for managing the department's Microsoft Outlook accounts or something.
Right.
That's what I mean by speaking to the description that way and put it in your resume. You can't just say I did Microsoft Outlook for 5 years, because then they're gonna know you copied. You have to actually put some context in there about what did you do with Microsoft Outlook with your current job. So that's what we mean by that, is pulling things from there and putting it in your resume. And the thing is that when you look at your resume, the top portion of your resume, a lot of people put like a statement of purpose or something that like catches the attention of the recruiter.
Yeah.
I think that's okay. But again, don't put up there saying, if you're going for a district manager role, do not have up there talking about education in this, education in that. Like, you probably need to get straight to the point.
Yeah.
You got to get straight to the point.
Well, you have to be. They don't have.
Yeah, they don't have time.
They don't have time. As a hiring manager, you don't have time. No.
If you're gonna put something up there, say this. You could say something like, if you're not a district manager right now, maybe you like I don't know, like a territory manager. Territory manager for X amount of years, looking to expand my knowledge and obtain a district manager role.
Yeah. Something
like that, or do something that alludes to your skill set, but you got to get straight to the point first off. And then the next thing I would say is, some people, like, if you've been out of school for 15 years, you probably don't need to put your education like up top. You can put that at the bottom somewhere, because your resume, your past jobs will explain your experience. Instead of putting that as the next thing after that opening statement, you probably should list out your skill set. Because again, the first page has to be able to be on point, like right now. Statement, why I'm here, these are my skills, and then boom, here's what I've done.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's how you cut your resume down from being too long.
And I would say, from a resume perspective that I've looked at personally from an applicant, and then also from a hiring manager standpoint, because I've been a hiring manager in a lot of roles, that I agree with you when you said, we talk about you don't have a lot of time. So if I got 30, 40 applicants, I got a deadline. Let's say I got 30, 40 applicants. I got to get through this job. I've been in this situation. You got 30, 40 applicants. I got to get through these. I got to get back with the recruiter, with HR, whoever, and get this submitted to them by Friday so that they can get offers out and do all this other stuff, right? Because we want to get somebody on board by maybe that end of that first week of the month. So I don't have time. On top of running the rest of the business or organization, whatever else, I don't have a lot of time. So your resume has to speak. Can I read it? Right? Can I follow your career path with it? Is it all over the place?
That's one thing right there. So if for me, when I was working as an engineer, and I also worked at Geek Squad and library and things like that, when I'm in my professional career as an engineer, I don't need to be putting stuff like library and Geek Squad on there no more.
No.
Like that's what you mean by all over the place. You can't
absolutely.
Put your whole career on there. You got to be focused. Some jobs you got to leave off.
Right.
And some you put on.
Right. So at that point right there. So and this also helps with condensing as well. If you have a wide variety of skill sets and things that you've done, tailor that resume. Look at all your skills, but tailor that resume that you're providing that employer to match more so of what they're looking for, that current role that you're going for, right? Because like you said, if you have engineering, it's an engineering job. You don't need to put Geek Squad on there.
Yeah, you don't need to do that.
You need to put everything that you've done with engineering down to internships, if you've had those or whatever. It needs to be geared towards what makes you a great candidate for this engineering position.
Great engineer. See, the only reason you should put the Geek Squad on there is if you have a limited background.
If it's limited, for sure.
Then you got to add something. But
yeah,
you don't need to be putting stuff on there that years and years ago.
No.
Because they gonna say they gonna say, okay, you've done that, but when's the last time you done it?
Yeah, and then it's awkward. Like,
then it's awkward.
Well, I did it about 12 years ago or whatever else. Then
no.
Then that world, whatever that was, that role's completely changed. What hasn't changed in the past 12 years? So that's one thing I think about with the resumes as well. Making sure that
go ahead.
No, I'm just saying making sure that the everything is on there is current. It's connecting the dots for the employer. Let's go back to the job description. The job description tells you everything they're looking for. So if you're kind of struggling with, well, what should I put, what I shouldn't put, you know your skill sets, and they're telling you what they're looking for. Match those up, connect it right there, so that when they're reading that, when that hiring manager takes that 2-3 minutes to look at your resume, because you really only might get 2 minutes, literally.
No, not even.
Bro, I'm telling you, it's real quick. It's like, who is this? What they got? Okay, educate. Whenever that time that they get, make sure that they're able to kind of connect those dots. Like, yep, at least enough to get you the interview.
You just need the interview. You need to get on first base,
right? Because you gotta get the interview, right? So you gotta impress them enough with that resume to get in the door. The other step of it, which we'll get into, is the actual interview. You know what I mean? But you got to get to the interview. You got to get to that interview to get to that point. So you got to have a solid resume. I would tell everybody to have different resumes. Have a couple different ones. Have your professional resume. And then if it's a side job or maybe an additional stream of income, or, where you really don't need to put all the feathers that are in your cap on it, don't have that on there. Because again, you may not get those. So let's say on the weekend, right? So like I used to be a server in college. I used to work at an Italian restaurant as a server, and I liked it. I never did it before, but I ended up being really good at it because I'm a people's person. I like to talk. And I used to be able to work the tips and everything. I used to know, I memorized the menu. I didn't even drink at the time, but I would be able to kind of memorize, pair which wine goes good with certain dishes, Italian dishes and everything. I took it very serious. Let's say if I wanted to do that on the weekends just because I like talking to people, they might not hire me if they know exactly everything that all of my skill sets. If I put my professional resume to go do 2 lunches and a dinner on the weekends at a restaurant, they're probably
overqualified.
You're gonna say you're overqualified. You know what I mean? And I do, and my expectation, I do want to do a good job when I'm there too. So it's not like I'm trying to get over. They're gonna look at it like, why would this guy who has all of this leadership experience, education, whatever, come in here, and they won't hire you. So have those there, be flexible and know how to plug and chug with those resumes as well. But bigger than anything, make sure that they're current. And I would say that they're easy to read and that they speak your story and they're able to connect the dots for the employer. They're giving you, it's like an open book test. That job description is an open book test.
Yeah.
You see the bare minimum of what they're looking for, right? They tell you that.
That's going to get you in the door, literally.
And we're just talking about getting in the door right here. This is just the resume conversation, which will get you to the interview. So
yeah, I like to tell people that all I got to do is get on the phone with a real person, get in front of somebody, and it's over. I can handle it. But like you're really competing with thousands of resumes, and it's decided upon a person or machine to say, we want to talk to this person. So the best thing you can do is look at the job description and tailor your resume to that. You can't just send one resume to 1,000 jobs because there's no focus there, unless you have a sharp focus on, I want to be a general manager.
Yeah.
Then you can probably send that resume out to a bunch of different things, because if their job description is wrote correctly, it's a GM. GM going to have GM functions no matter what industry. So you can kind of get away with it, but I caution that. I think one of the things that I think, because I've done this too, looking over resumes, and people have formatting mistakes.
Man, grammatical errors.
So I'm gonna teach you a little trick here.
Different fonts, colors, and everything.
Fonts, colors. Don't keep everything simple. It's like I said with the clown suits. Like if you're wearing loud colors and stuff, like they call that clown suits. So when you're doing a resume, keep everything like simple. Don't try to do nothing fancy. Regular font, regular lettering size, all of that. Keep it. Don't be trying to cut corners and mess with the margins and all that. Like, I'm telling you, keep it the way it's supposed to be. And when you get it to a format that you want, everything is lined perfectly. Even your bullet points, they have to be in a row. If you got bullet points on the next page, they need to all line up on one row. Everything has to be right, because the way your resume looks is that's how that person is going to judge you, as if they're seeing you with your clothes on. So if you got misspelled words, things, your format is off, they're going to think you might come in here with untied shoelaces and things like that. Like things on your shirt. That's how your resume speaks about you. So one of the things I tell people a lot to do is, when you get your format right and everything correct, save it in Word.
Yeah.
Save it in Word first. Okay. Then the copy that you submit to jobs and the copy that you submit to, you send the people, save another copy in PDF format.
Yes.
Why? Because the PDF format, that's not going to change. I don't care what computer you open it on.
Nope.
The format will not alter. A lot of times you change in Word and you save it on a newer version of Word on your computer, and you send it to somebody else, they may have Word 90, whatever, and it's going to look crazy when they open it. You know what I'm saying? So, and it also protects the integrity of your document, because
they can't change it either.
They can't change nothing on it. Because sometimes, you'd be surprised, sometimes, even if you're talking to a recruiter, I've had this happen before. A recruiter, this is why they always ask you for your resume in Word, because they want to change it and spice it up. So, right? But they do things that, dude, I didn't do that at that job. Why'd you do that? Why'd you make that change? And they want to put their name at the top and all of this. No, PDF format, you can't change anything, because I got the OG copy, the Word copy.
Yeah.
And you send the PDF everywhere. You keep the Word for your editing purposes. And that's one of the things I think people can get ahead of the game.
Yeah. You know, hold on. I'll say one thing a lot of people mess up on too. We talking about resumes. A lot of people forget to attach their resumes.
Yeah, you forget to attach.
While you're to the application.
Yep.
Listen, and I've not hired people, so they fill out the application. And you know, the application actually tells you a little bit about a person too. And I say, man, they seem like they'll be okay.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, wow, they got this, they got that. All right. Let me see that attachment. Where's the resume? No resume.
No resume.
Or if it's a small like Q&A, like questionnaire that you're supposed to answer, that maybe with the company or something like that, and they ain't do that. I've never hired a person. You forget to attach a resume, I'm not hiring you. You forget to take the questionnaire, I'm not hiring you. If there's some type of assessment,
don't neglect it.
I'm not gonna hire you, because look, once I hire you, I'm gonna ask you to do a whole lot harder task than that. And if you can't do that, the bare minimum of attach a resume, fill out a questionnaire, take a basic assessment, we got nothing else to talk about. What else aren't you gonna pay attention to detail with? This is the bare minimum. Once you get in here, I'm gonna have 1,000 things more difficult for you to do.
Yeah.
And it's crazy that you got to say that, but I promise you, I've been in that situation a lot where I'm like, I may have wanted to been interested in that person by what I saw on the application, but because I had no resume, because they didn't fill out this and that third, it already seemed like a bad deal. You're already showing me things about you that, you know, that I don't think is in a good employee. And the best time to evaluate you is before I hire you. Because once I hire you, bring you on board, get you trained all up.
Yep. You lose a lot of money by getting rid of them.
So, so don't forget to take your time and do that. And the companies, you know, they have those things in place for a reason. You know, attachment resume, whatever. I'm talking also about the questionnaires and those little assessment tests. Maybe it's a basic math test or something like that. They're there for a reason. Don't blow past them. Because you're going to run into a hiring manager you won't get the job because of it. Take your time, care about what you're doing too. So
yeah. So this is another thing that I think about. The at the end of the resume or somewhere in it, people think they obligated to put references. So this is my take on references in a resume.
Yeah, elaborate on that a little bit.
I think they're completely, like, leave them off. I don't think you need to say anything about references upon request and this and that, this and that. Listen, I don't care if I'm looking at the resume. You might have a different perspective, but if I'm looking at a resume, I don't care about your references right now because you got to prove to me who you are and what you can do before I even think about the next step of, okay, now that I've talked to this person, is he really who he is? You see what I'm saying? That's how I think about it. But I just think that a person isn't gonna check your references before they get to know you.
No.
So that's what I'm saying. The resume is to understand who you are. So I'm just wasting. If you want to cut down your resume, you might have to. If you don't have space, you might have to take that off.
Well, listen, I've even been in situations and cases where if we want to bring you on board, but maybe you seem like maybe you're such a good candidate, like it's almost to the point where you might it's like you fake, you too good to be true. Then we may ask for, can you provide a couple professional references, right?
Yeah.
Just for us to kind of verify a couple of things, verify employment, verify work history, verify some of these skills, especially when you get into these high dollar jobs, high value jobs. You know, if you're saying you have these specific skills that everybody doesn't have, and you know what I mean, I might just need to talk to a couple of people about it, or one person or something. But that's when we get there. So I think that's another way that you can, you know, cut off some stuff with your resume. So you're absolutely right. I don't put down my references.
I don't either. I have a whole separate document for that. If you want, I got them ready, but I don't put them on a resume. But again, some people be doing that.
No, man. And I think that's getting a little bit outdated, to be honest.
It is.
I believe that's outdated because look, I mean, you could jump on.
Most of these companies using social media to check you anyway.
Jump on social media and tell a little bit about a person.
No, these companies doing that. They grading you on social media. That's another thing. That might be another topic.
It really is.
They grading you based on what you post. So again, y'all ain't getting these jobs because the employer is looking at your social media.
What's on your profile?
You think it's locked down? Okay, what's your profile picture?
Hey, that go back to exactly what I be telling.
I'm telling you, man. That's just
it's just the world that we live in.
Yeah.
So continue to monitor that, but I mean that's the resume. That's the resume. So
what about the cover letter though? Because I want to tell you that some of the biggest jobs I've had, I've looked back and seen I've attached a cover letter to every one that I got. And I think that if you want to separate yourself from the pack, you might want to tailor a cover letter to that with that resume.
I mean,
with your application, I should say.
Well, one thing that's going to show that
above and beyond.
You're going over and be above and beyond, right? Everybody's not going to do that. That's already showing that you care.
Yeah,
and you care more. Like I said, I've looked at a lot of resumes. Very few have cover letters.
I'm telling you.
And if I see a cover letter, I mean, it just gives me that sense of professionalism. Yeah. That it's you're not lazy.
Yes.
Right?
Because it takes energy to get that cover letter together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me look at this thing. You know what I mean? Like that type of mentality towards it. So.
I can tell you that I've had where, because I submitted a cover letter, I've been able to skip rounds of interviews because the cover letter just did it for me.
Man.
So
once you get into it, it's so many ways to skip them steps, depending on how hard you coming in and how impressed they are by you. Because guess what? The employer don't want you to waste their time, and they don't want to waste your time.
Yeah.
So if they want you, some of them will flat out just tell you. You know what I'm saying? Like when you at the end of it and you ask them what's the next steps or whatever else like that, they're like, no, we want you. I've had people tell me, like, we want you, like, we like you. You check all the boxes for us. We got to go talk a little bit about the salary requirements. But just give us a couple of days on that. Now it done turned to the energy instantly shifts from like me auditioning for this role to you finding out if you can afford me.
And that's leverage. Now you just told me that you
Yeah.
need me and you
Yes.
want me.
Yes. Now you just
Now,
now the ball is in my
it's
court.
in my court now.
Yes.
And that's where you want to get the interview to go, as we talk about that later on. But like, you want to get in that position at all times where now, oh yeah, you just told me you need me. Oh yeah, now we talking about, can you afford me?
Mm-hmm.
The
That's
resume.
crazy. So that's the resume. What's number 2? Be on time. Let me start it. You can finish it, man. Here's the thing. I know that seems like why would that everybody should know about being on time, right? No, everybody doesn't. And I specifically want to talk to my people on this one.
What does be on time mean?
It's simple. Either you're early or you're late.
Exactly. Exactly.
Either you're early or you're late. I don't care if it's a Zoom interview, Teams interview, in-person interview. I don't care what it is. And this is just in the door. We can also talk about, how once you get in the door, if you get in the door, coming to work late and just being late all the time. But I'm just talking about I'm gonna talk about the early stages of it. I've seen people that were a shoe-in for a job who really already had people speaking for them, people bragging for them. The company knew who they were, knew their skill sets before they even interviewed. All they had to do was go through the process. Really just show up on time and tell us what we already know about you. But you tweaked. You thought that the time wasn't that time, and you forgot, you mixed up the time zones and whatever, and you was late. And you don't get that phone call back. I've never hired anybody that was late for an interview.
Ever. You're never going to get the job because
they come through with the excuses. And listen, and I'm only going to say excuses because this is real world stuff. And it may be facts, but the real world is an excuse. I had to drop my daughter off.
Doesn't matter.
I'm a single dad. I'm a single mom. I had to do this. I had to. And again, I'm going to grade you real hard before I hire you. I'm going to grade you the hardest before I hire you. And if there's a probationary period after I hire you, I'm going to grade you hard in that one as well. But you darn near got to be perfect, very impressive for me to even bring you on board. So if you already, I just met you, my name is, and your name is, and now you already got an excuse. Come on now. What's next? Next is the next candidate, not you. I don't need you coming in here late. You get what I'm saying? First off, if it's something that you really want, something you really care about, and let's just talk about these, like if it's it's one of those professional jobs, one of those life-changing jobs. How you late? You almost shouldn't even be able to go to sleep the night before, like a little kid with your clothes set out and everything else.
Tell me.
Talking about I'm late. Outside of a life-changing event, like my car exploded on the way here, or something crazy like that, you're not gonna get that job.
Ever.
You're not gonna get that job. And if a company hires you,
they just desperate.
They're desperate.
And they're gonna fire you.
Yeah. No real, how can I say, high value positions will hire people for that with those type of actions early on, or even once you get brought on board.
This is the thing, high turnover jobs. What I mean by that, jobs who have employees who quit, get hired, like people just on and off.
Right.
Those are the ones that will probably be okay with you showing up late.
Yeah.
Over and over. Because they just high turnover.
You're just another body.
Yeah, just another body.
Low skill jobs.
I didn't want to say that, but low skill.
Low skill jobs.
But it's true.
No, low skill jobs.
Yeah.
Jobs where anybody can do.
Yeah. Because they're going to turn you over. They don't care.
They don't care. Like, so if your job is to move this water bottle from this side of the mic to that side of the mic,
then get anybody to do that.
You can get anybody to do that.
Yep.
So you really, need to. that's
you got to screw up like big time. Like, don't even move the water bottle.
They don't care. Like they're used to turning people over, because end of the day, all I need you to do is move this water bottle from here to here.
Yeah.
So, they may take a little bit more or whatever else, because that's that environment, but they don't care if you come and go or not or whatever, because you can pull somebody from, you could pull the janitor to come do that right now.
Anybody can
to
cross
get us through the day to just put the water bottle on the left side of the mic. You know what I mean? So, those type of things, bro. But be on time. But I think you wanted to get into be on time a little bit deeper.
Man, I'm because this is such a it's almost a job in itself. Like for real, it's colored people time is a real thing, man.
Definitely.
And it haunts us for our whole lives.
Yeah.
I don't care if you're talking about the job, you're talking about personal life, getting to church on time, getting wherever you're trying to go on time.
Yes.
If like it is an issue, and I've seen countless.
It continues to be late.
It's not okay. It speaks to your character majorly because look, it's two different things here. First of all, when we talk about on the surface, we talk about being on time for an interview. Yes, that's direct in your face, and we know that you should be on time for the interview. But what I'm saying is, because you're not on time for anything in your life, that means that you're not on time for preparation for the interview.
Right.
So because you didn't prepare in a proper fashion for the interview, you're going to fail before you start because you never took the time to be on time with your preparation, meaning prepare before the night before.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Going to sleep to wake up and perform like you need to.
Get you good rest.
Get you a good rest.
Get up. Maybe get you some breakfast.
You know what I'm saying? And it's a domino effect to if you got kids. Guess what? You not getting them anywhere on time. So when they grow up, they think they got time to spare like that. I'm gonna tell you something. Being on time, you late. That's what my college football coach used to tell you. If you on time, you late.
Yep. You early or late, man.
You're either early or late. You gotta, and it's this simple. You gotta set your. See, this is why these phones is hurting us because they always show the current time, and that's not how it happens in life. In life, you gotta play chess, right?
Right.
You gotta be 10 steps ahead of people. Mm-hmm. You gotta be 10 minutes early, because looking at your phone, you think you got time. You ain't got no time. Nah. Unless you looked at it 30 minutes before and you're going to tell yourself, well, I got 30 more minutes. 15 minutes past, not 10 minutes past. You late now. You can get you a regular watch or set whatever watch you got or whatever it is 10 minutes early in your car, whatever. So that way you ahead of time, it just helps you. And I just think that we can't skip over this because countless people get interview. They do all that work, the resume, all of that, and then they show up late to the interview. You showing up late to a phone interview.
That's crazy to me.
You wilding. They thought you couldn't come late to a virtual interview. You coming late. Because I don't care if you had internet problems. I don't care if you had to update your system. That's not my problem.
No.
You supposed to turn all that on, ready to go.
Test it out, make sure everything is
block your camera.
All that. All that.
If you don't, just have it on, ready to go. And I just think that most of the time people they can do everything right. As I told you, you can do everything right and still be wrong if you didn't do it in the right time.
Absolutely.
So now you done did all that work, and then the only thing you got to do to make this right is to show up on time.
You can't get that right.
You can't get that right.
Like I said, short of a life-changing event, man, something, the sky falling, you ain't gonna get that job.
You're not getting the job. Just it's done. It's done for. So that's why I think that everything in life, man, this is a habitual thing where you can't just turn it on and off. You just got to do it. You make it a routine for you to be on time to stuff, to everything. And you know why people always on time to the clubs and stuff like that? It's because they prioritize. It's important for them to get there. They don't want to pay this 40 ball.
I was gonna say, yeah, they know that they know it's free before 10 or
exactly
or 20 before 10:30. Then it's gonna go up to 60. So yeah, they
getting in there because they don't want to pay that.
They getting there.
So you need to take that same mindset. I'm telling you, it's damaging people.
Cold, they stand out in the rain. Hey, all of it.
This on time thing is damaging people because, like, you talk about like situations where if you go into a school function and they make all late people sit in the front, right? Or you go to church and, you know, most of the people ain't going to sit in the front. Guess what? You're going to have a whole row up there for yourself because you coming late. Take a look at who up front next time you come go somewhere, a timed event. See who in the front. See who walking in late. It's a disease with minorities.
Yeah, that we don't mind being late.
That's how we always talking about we behind this and that because you letting people beat you. Whatever, if you know you're supposed to post some content, get up and post it early. Stop being late. Stop doing stuff late. You see what I'm saying?
Right, it go down to how you prepare for your day, how serious
it's preparation,
and how serious you taking what you're doing. Whether, like you said, whether it's something personal you're doing like that, or with your job and your career, and if especially when we talk about an employer, I could tell if you're serious before you come to sit with me. I could tell you serious.
I need you waiting on me.
Everything, exactly.
If I'm the employer and you the employee, I need you waiting on me.
Thing is, I've come to jobs where I get there so early in the parking lot, I see the hiring managers and people coming into the office.
I got a perfect example,
bro. I swear, bro. They sit there and I'll be like, I get it. I give them a few minutes to get in there, turn on the lights, get settled, whatever else like that. And I'm not. Hey, I'm early. And I said, I'll just sit in the lobby and go over some notes.
Listen, I got a crazy example for you. Okay, I ain't explain that part, but I was waiting on an interview and I was interviewing with the CEO of the company. It's a nonprofit at the time.
Right.
This the dude I sound like. And
yeah, I remember you telling me about that.
I was ready, right? I pulled up into the parking lot before he did. I didn't know that was him, but I pulled up and was sitting there. I'm probably like 30, 40 minutes early. So I get out the car first because I realized it was him now. Mm-hmm. I get out the car and I just played it natural. He got out the car after me and we both meet at the door to get in. And I said, hey, how's it going, Mr. So-and-so?
Right.
And he was like, hey, how's it going? And he didn't know who I was. He not expecting, right? He not knowing he about to interview me. So then when I told him my name, he was like, artist. Oh, yeah. He's like, you're here pretty early. Yeah, I'm here. And I beat you here.
Definitely.
Now, let me tell you this. I just want to get this across because I'm so methodical in like my plan and everything that when you get to that level, you can become like, you can intimidate others. Cause now we both the same color, both black. He just a hire. He really should be my mentor.
Right.
But I think in that nonprofit environment, it was Caucasian. Like, so I think he felt threatened that I was coming for his role.
Right.
So that's just a long story short that I think that when you really take care of your business and you handle things properly, like, you're going to get the most respect. And you might get enough respect where you might look like a threat, but you're going to look like a threat anyway if you a minority and you handling business. So be on time.
Definitely be on time.
Third thing.
The interview.
Boy. No, wait. So we took him through so this is about earning the job.
All of us earning a job.
The first step is the resume.
Yeah.
Okay. The second step, be on time.
Be on time.
Okay. Because this is what's coming. The interview.
Third, the interview. That's where you want to get to. That's where we playing ball. That's where the rubber meets the road.
Man.
This is the actual tryout to see if you make the team.
Man,
listen here. So, I jotted down some things that I thought about, and this is all through experience. When we talk about getting a job, I say, and these are things that I personally practice, and I continuously practice them. This is what I tell people, and it's worked. It's worked for me. It's working for people. And again, you can alter stuff, whatever else, but I'm telling you, this is core foundation stuff. So I don't know how this couldn't work.
Yeah.
Number one, do your homework on the company.
Walk them down.
Do your homework on the company. Every company likes to sit down and tell you, where they, how long they've been in business, where they started, where they go. You should already know that.
That's the basics.
That's public knowledge. Beat them to it, right? Or be able to speak to something, right? So if they tell you, hey, we started in 1975 as company AB, then you should say, yes. And I also noticed in 1990, you switched your name after you did an expansion to XYZ.
And then after that, I also understand that you acquired XYZ to streamline the business.
Right. So now you kind of get what I'm saying. They were going to try to brief you on something, but then you're telling them like, okay, that's showing them you've done your homework.
Yeah. Next question.
Next, they're gonna move on because it's like that's impressive. So we talked about showing up on time. So I don't need to, beat a dead horse. Hygiene. I know that sounds funny.
It's
man.
two ways though, because they're gonna think you're talking about stinking.
No,
but you can.
But you better not stink. I think that we don't even need to spend. We don't even need to spend no time on you.
Women run into this too much.
So I'm just saying, when I talk about like hygiene, I'm also talking about. I'm telling you, we look at how your hair is.
Yep.
How's your clothes?
Too much perfume.
Yep. Right? If it's too strong, then it's overbearing. Now we're not even thinking about you and your skill set anymore. You wear too much cologne, too much perfume. It's overpowering. You know what I mean? Just be fresh. I wouldn't even say, you can put on some cologne if you want to, or just walk through it, one spray and walk through it. But like, you're not going to the club. You understand? You're not going on a hot date. You're going to be in a close knit rooms, close space, probably in proximity. And you don't want that to take away from the focus, because it will. It sounds silly, but it will.
Tell them about the virtual interview. You probably wear blazer. Dress for the job you want, not the job you got.
Oh, say it again.
Dress for the job you want, not the job you got. Yeah. Some people would consider it at many times that I've overdressed in an interview. Yeah. I'm going to step like that every time.
Every time.
I'm not going to never bring my best forth. I'm not going to do that. So I don't care what the role is. I always dress the part. Your hair, go get your hair done. Okay, even if you can't get something expensive, I can tell if you try. Employers can tell if you try, if it's nice and neat, right? Yeah. Your facial hair. You don't have to be barbershop fresh. Maybe you're not a barber and you can't afford it, but I can tell if you tried though. I can tell if you went in there and just lined up your facial hair nice and neatly the best you could. Yeah. But don't come in here with no wolf, man. Yeah. Don't come in here like it's No Shave November. Yeah. You understand what I'm saying? Like, and I'm telling you, it sounds like it wouldn't matter, but it does, because again, how did you prepare? How serious are you taking this road to where you couldn't even go get a haircut? You couldn't clean yourself. You couldn't, have clean clothes on. You couldn't
iron it up.
Iron clothes is wrinkled, like ketchup stains on stuff, like, different things like that. Pay attention to details. Because again, if you don't care now, you're not going to care when I get and sign you to something a lot harder to care about. Because to me, you don't even care about yourself. You don't even. Yeah. So you're definitely not going to care about the stuff I need you to do in here. Another thing, create a wow factor at some point in the interview. Yeah. That can be, like we just said, doing the homework on the company.
And that'll be it. That's your wow factor.
Yeah. That's one wow factor. The next wow factor will be this, maybe. This always is a wow factor for me. Do your homework on the panel. So if they tell you the names, if they mess up and tell you the names of these people.
So wait, everybody got social media.
Get on social media, Google them, whatever you got to do, LinkedIn, Facebook, whatever. Figure out and find something about these people. Same way they can find out about you, you can find out about them. And to wow them is to tell them about themselves. Because guess what? People love to hear about themselves.
They want to hear about themselves.
You tell them, yeah, I seen you graduated from this school, and I seen you were part of that program. And I did see when you had an article out where you were with the governor or whatever. They love to hear that. That's a wow factor, because it's like, wait, your job that they're hiring for may have, it may not even deem you necessary to even know that type of stuff, but you already thinking on a whole nother level. That's a wow factor.
Biggest trick is if you can get somebody talking about themselves, let them talk.
Man, people love to talk about
themselves.
And
if you do that, you look at the result. You find what happens.
Definitely. And I would say, connect the dots in the interview for the hiring manager. I talked about this with the resume, but now we're talking about the interview. Again, they've already told you what they're looking for in the job description. And you feel like, because you applied and you got an interview. Yeah. So you feel like you got the credentials, right? Connect them. Say it out loud. Say it out loud to their faces. Tell them, so if they're looking for someone that can drive results, make sure you mention I can drive results. Make sure you have an example of a time you drove the results, right?
If they're telling you that we're looking for someone that can that's comfortable with public speaking, make sure that you speak on some of the things that you've done with public speaking or reporting out or collaborating with other people. Yeah. Talk about, or other departments or things of that factor. So make sure that you say that, because when you say that out loud, now they're connecting the dots in their head, because that's already what they're looking for. So you're speaking to it, you're proactively speaking to it before they could. So, that definitely helps. Asking questions. Yep. Always ask questions at the end of an interview. Yep. I've never in my life hired somebody that didn't ask me questions. Because look, how don't you have a question for a job you've never had?
Exactly.
How you don't got no questions for me?
And I ain't just talking about one question. You need about 2, 3 of them things.
Man, I ask all type of questions. I'll have, depending on the panel and the situation, if it's a panel of 3 people, I might have 2 questions for each one of them.
And if they show some type of like resentment or like you can see them getting uneasy because of the questions you asking, they probably want to hire you. You probably wasn't the preferred candidate, and they just need to get you out of there. You was a check a box candidate.
Yeah.
So if you see that, that's a telltale sign that I wasn't getting hired for this. No way.
I ask questions because I'm at the point where I'm interviewing you just like you're interviewing me.
Two-way street.
I want to make sure I'm a good fit, and you want to make sure I'm a good fit for you too. We're trying to do this thing together. So let's say you got 3 people on the panel. I'm gonna just be real quick with this example. You got the hiring manager, right? And then let's say you have a peer of the hiring manager, and let's say you had somebody that used to be in the role. They didn't get fired or nothing. They got promoted.
Or a person that's on the hiring manager's team that you'll be working with.
Those are 3 different lanes that you can ask people questions.
Yeah.
There's questions you can specifically ask the hiring manager that's just for a hiring manager. Ask him about his expectations around the role in the first 90 days, 60, 90 days, 180 days.
Another wow factor. Here's what I plan to do in the next 90 days.
And have that ready, right? So I've done that. I've had that ready. I've had my own. It's like a setup. I've had my own 90-day plan, and then I asked the hiring manager, because I wouldn't ask anybody else that. Let's say the person that maybe if I did the role and I'm on the panel, right? So you ask me, hey, since you did maybe ask me, what are some of the struggles of the role, right? Because nobody can speak to it better than the person that just did the role. Yeah. And then I can go off into, all the good things that we're doing good, but right now in this quarter, we maybe we launched this, and maybe there's some struggles there or whatever that may be. That's what I'm saying. Quality questions, but always have questions. I don't care what the role is. I don't care if it's a job where you're trying to make $10 an hour. Have some questions for that hiring manager, because you've never done that job before. How don't you have a question? How don't you have any questions even in regard, sitting back and saying, no, I'm good. I think we summed it up. I think you answered all of it. That's not going to set you aside from nobody. And again, every conversation that we put out, any content that we put out, we're talking is geared towards people that want more, people that are trying to set themselves aside from the rest of the pack and are trying to go over and beyond. So those type of things. And I would just say, bigger than anything, before I turn it over, is answer every question with confidence.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to get into.
Answer every question with confidence.
Yep.
Even if you may feel like it wasn't the strongest answer, maybe they hit through you with a curveball, and maybe you feel like you're not answering it as strong as you normally would, or maybe that just still be confident. Still be confident. Because I've seen that. I've done it. And I've been commended on it. You know what I mean? Like, well, we threw that in there. I know you probably wasn't expecting that one, but your confidence towards it was amazing. And you actually did have a pretty solid answer for us. But I could tell you weren't expecting it, because we weren't expecting it. I just felt like, based upon the other conversations that we had, we wanted to throw this at you. Because they want to throw you off, especially if it's going too good. You know what I mean? So those are some key things that I think about with getting a job.
I would say in that situation that it's okay to say you don't know the answer. I've done that before, where you go into a situation and you can say, I don't know. And the thing about it is, when you say you don't know, I'll get the information for you and follow up with it, with the answer, the correct answer.
Yeah. Okay. Now we talk. I'm about to say, just don't leave it just, I don't know.
No, because one of the things that gets you in trouble in the interview is you fumbling around trying to answer a question, you just BSing them.
Yeah.
They're gonna know. So
Yeah.
say you don't know, but I will follow up with you with the answer.
Yes.
Then you leave it at that. So this is the thing about interviewing is that when you answer a question, you talk about answering questions confidently. This is what I tend to do. You got to have examples in your head ready to go for everything.
Yeah.
That's why I'm saying the preparation is key. So if somebody asks you about a time where you had to deal with a difficult employee, you have to have it examples in your head ready to go. And this is something you got to do like beforehand. Take some time and write down. Look up different interview questions online, and then just write them down. Answers you how you would answer, like experiences you had. Oh, I remember to do it is to work with at Target or whatever like that, right?
Yeah.
But this is how you have to do it. You first start off with the situation.
Yeah.
Give an understanding of the situation. Once you give an understanding of the situation, give an understanding of what happened during the situation. So what I mean by that is I worked with a guy at Target and he was the head over the cashier's department. Boom, that's the situation.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, what happened during it? During this time, a particular day at work, the one of the actual cashiers working the register had an issue, and the head manager, the dude I'm talking about, came over there and caused the commotion with that cashier. Okay. Well, how did you handle the situation? This is what I did in that moment to handle the situation. See, it's 3 parts to that. The lead up to the situation, during the situation, and the resolution.
Yeah.
You have to have those 3 components to answer the question completely. And if you do that and practice that for every question, you're going to blow the interview out the water. Ain't no questions about it. Just those 3 things: lead up to the situation, what actually happened, and what was the outcome.
Yeah.
It works every time.
Like a charm.
And all I want to say on the back end of this is that when you interviewing for these roles and when you hit them out the park sometimes, you know you hit the interview out the park. Do not become discouraged when you don't get the job, because sometimes you're just not the person they want to hire because they have preferred candidates.
Yeah, it's other factors.
It's politics in it.
It's politics in it. Yeah, sometimes, and I've been a victim of it.
Yeah,
we've all been a victim. Yeah, it's you'll find yourself doubting yourself, and it was out of your control the entire time. So don't ever doubt yourself, because it's easy to do. You think you did something wrong. You think that you didn't do something right, and you go trying to change a bunch of things about yourself, and it.
Changing your resume, everything.
Yeah,
and it's not
no, that's not one of them cases where you need to change yourself. So if you know you put together a good quality interview, you did everything, you articulated yourself, you didn't leave anything on the table, you connected all the dots, whatever. And once you get to a point, because I know a good interview and a bad interview.
Yeah.
I know to get to this point to be able to speak to it on this platform, I know the difference between a good interview and a bad interview, right?
No.
So when you know you've got that experience on your belt and you know you just put together a really great interview and you didn't get it, move on. Move on fast. Short memory, like in baseball.
Yep, short memory.
Short memory, like in baseball. Like you get 3 outs, right? If you still talking about that first out you got, you might strike out all day. You might get 3-4 more at bats. Now, instead of that 1 strikeout, you end up with 4 or 5 strikeouts because you ain't have a short memory. You still thinking about that first one. Have a short memory.
Yep.
Move forward if you know that you did your best job that you possibly could, because maybe there were some factors that were out of your control. And there will always be factors that are outside of control. No matter what the job is, no matter how high end or low end or whatever you want to look at the job, the spectrum of the job, there's politics in everything.
Yep.
So control what you could control, do your best, and move forward.
Key takeaways, or the key takeaway.
Right.
Preparation and dedication will determine who will earn the job. So again, this goes back to being on time. This goes back to how you doing your resume, what you doing, and how you performing in the interview. The way you prepared is going to dictate who will earn the job. And how dedicated are you to wanting this job? Are you going to turn in the cover letter with your resume? Are you going to train yourself to be on time? See what I'm saying? Are you going to research questions to ask this company? It's up to you.
Yeah.
If you skipping out on those things that we just talked about, that's why you're not getting the job.
Yeah. Facts.
Action item.
What we got?
And I personally love this action item. I think is very important. This is what I want. This is what we want y'all to do. Because we want to change your life habits, not just for the job, the life habits. Show up 10 minutes early to every event, meeting, engagement, or whatever you have scheduled within the next week.
I like that a whole lot.
Show up to everything 10 minutes early.
Lot.
See how that changed your life.
You just become a habit of it. I'm so good with time, bro. It's so crazy. I be freaking Alex out sometimes because it's down to a science. Like I can get it down to a minute, like to do this, do that, because I understand how time works. And I also understand time ain't on my side. And time don't work the way I want it to work. In the way I view time, in the way that the world views time, and it was talking about professional, on a professional spectrum, it ain't the same either.
Oh, man.
So that practice 10, be on time for 10 minutes early for everything for a week. And then it's gonna build to 2 weeks. Then it's gonna, build off of that. But at least try for the week. For the folks that find themselves struggling to be on time, I don't care if you got to get up earlier, set that alarm clock differently, prepare. Maybe don't
iron your clothes the night before, set them out the night before. Back to the basics.
Maybe don't drink right before you go to bed.
Yeah.
Because if you drink right before bed, it's hard to get off that pillow in the morning. You drink some hard liquor before you go to sleep, knowing you have something important to do the next day, knowing you need to get up, knowing that you work an early shift or you got to hit the road early or something, you're going to be dragging. You're going to be dragging.
Preparation. That's what I'm telling you.
So,
preparation.
All those things. I think that's a great action item. So, so without further ado, man, this was pretty much earning that job.
Yeah.
We broke it down piece by piece for you. And these are all principles and things that we apply to our lives personally. Everything we spoke about today, we can vouch for that has worked for us. Not we read somewhere, not we know a guy that's friends with a guy. This wasn't in some article or something. This is actually through real life experience, trial, error, successes, things of that nature. And I won't call them failures because you learn from them, right? How to improve. But lessons that we've had to learn. And if you apply them, and we've had people that went out and applied them. And again, we love hearing those stories. So keep bringing that stories to us. Because it gives us the motivation and lets us know that we're on track or what we need to change or maybe gear towards or focus on with the focal point for people to kind of, because we want to empower people to be the best version of themselves.
Empowerment. Yeah.
That's what it's about.
Yeah.
And in return, so continue to, strive for more. And I mean, I ain't got nothing else to say about it, bro. We did real good.
Yeah. Some people gonna get some jobs out of this.
For sure.
They gonna get paid. That's what.
And it make me happy because look, it don't even have that we gonna get paid. It's they gonna get paid and watching what they gonna do to their life. I love to see somebody make a play and like I always say, put a plan in motion, get it, and watch them live their life differently. I sit back and laugh, like, look at him, look at her, like, I see you shining. Like, you get what I'm saying? Coming around, looking good, got this, got that going on. You're vacationing now. You know what I mean? You're not all depressed and sick and sad. You got good mental health. You know what I'm saying? You're in a good space. Your energy is better. Your conversation is just better. It's more positive. I love to see that. So it starts with things like this, applying principles like this when it comes to getting a job, how you carrying yourself every day, just being on time, being early, the representation and the presence that you setting, and let alone if without diving into it too much, if you got children that's looking after you as well, you're setting that precedent for them as well. So, I mean, this was earn the job, man.
Earn the job. Shout out to Earn Your Leisure. I like them guys. So. Yeah. We
got to get in the room with them.
Yeah, we got to get in the room with them. That'd be a dynamic combo.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
But yeah, IOU Redemption. Big speaker.
It's your boy G White.
We out.